No, thanks.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
I hope so. It's a humbling experience, right?
It truly is. 1000%.
Oh, God damn it.
Don't mind us, y'all.
Yeah, don't mind us.
We're just
It's going to be that
waffling
night.
on about stuff. Ugh.
We'll talk about it in bro time. Got some shit to cover. We're going to be talking about Brighton. Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all know the drill.
Yeah.
You've been here long enough.
Yep. Welcome to Snobby Boys.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype. Pull that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time. Every time. Every time. Every time.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Snobby Boy Podcast. I'm Colby. That's Joe. You already know. We are going to be talking to Brighton. But before we do, hit like, subscribe, all that shit. Yeah. I don't know. This was underwhelming. We'll just say that. We'll just say underwhelming. We'll say it so nonchalantly. I think I've said this I know I have. I know I've said this in episodes past. This is the season where we need to lower the standards. This is the season where we need to think a little bit more realistically and not put so much pressure, not just on the team, but on ourselves. Because at the end of the day, this is just a game, fellas. We understand where we're at. Again, we have to take the objective route on this and realize that you have to call a spade at this point. Suffice it to say, there is some perk to how everything has recently happened with European competitions, which we'll get into here in a little bit. That gives us a route that we normally otherwise wouldn't have. But like I said, we'll get into that here in a little bit. Let's first get into Pep's presser. First thing, one of the things quotable is quotable quotes by Pep.
Quotable quotes.
Quotable quotes, if you know that reference. We deserve to be on the sofa.
Yeah, Pep was super realistic when they came and were asking him about the exit, which you gotta love from your manager when they're just straight out honest about everything. It's like, what up, Steve? Didn't mince words. Like, we weren't good enough, and we deserve to be sitting on the.
Hey. Black hat, black shirt. We're just trying to mesh in with all the guys that go to the game, because obviously we don't live there, and that's a massive thing to everybody because we're not locals. And it's also clearly why we don't have the amount of subscriptions, because we're not local, which I think is so stupid. Get over yourselves. Anyways, sorry, that was a rant.
We said at the beginning this is how the show is going to go today.
Yeah, it's going to go that way.
But yeah, they all. I mean, when you look at the stands in the wintertime, everybody's wearing all black. So we're just trying to, fit in a little bit. We also did not talk about this previously, that we were going to show up like this. I just got back from my kid's game, and since we all know she plays for Liverpool, I tend to go just all black situation. So then he came on camera and he was wearing black hat and black shirt. So it just happenstance that this is what went down. But I love the fact that Pep doesn't fool around with his words and pressers when talking about the team. He's like, you know what? We weren't good enough. It is what it is. We deserve to be where we're at because of our performances. No excuses. It is what it bees. So, yes.
Give you the flasher.
The neuralizer.
I think that's what a lot of our fans need, though. They need that little pen thing that erases memories.
Yeah, kind of what you were kind of led off with the show was exactly what I said to the fam when we sat down to watch the game on Saturday. After Ellie's indoor game, we sat down and watched the match. I was like, you know what? I believe in my heart that we're going to get into one of the Champions League positions by the end of the season. So each match, I'm just going to take it for what it is and I'm not going to get myself super worked up about it at this point. I'm going to be engaged in the match. I'm going to be, excited about the match and goal scored and things like that. But I'm not going to allow ourselves to get down in the dumps and really get pissy if we don't get 3 points. It's a situation we're at. So I'm yeah, it's Steve. Yeah, that too. Thank you, Newcastle too.
Yes, thank the Tunes. 70 years, man.
How quickly for those folks over at Anfield that went from we're going to win the Premier League, we're favorites for the Champions League, we still got the Carabao Cup, we're going to get maybe 3 trophies, and now you're down to 1 opportunity for a trophy, which you're going to probably win at this point, which is a great season, but.
Listen, we have 9 weeks left. We have 9 weeks left in the season, 9 matches at least, and there's still time. There's still time. I don't think they're going to drop all 20 points, but I certainly believe that there is a wrench to be thrown in their spokes at some point in time.
Their main problem with this is the cereal bottlers are the ones trying to chase them down. Those folks over at Arsenal,
their MO for now on. Yes. I really think it should be. It's what they're good at. I mean, it's sustain something you're good at, right?
Yeah. So just own it. Own what you're great at, and just enjoy being bottlers.
Enjoy being little whiners too, because you're really good at that as well.
The A1 at being delusional about their fan.
Oh my God! So delusional.
Lean into it, I guess, is the move. But speaking of Champions League, Pep had another good one-liner zinger from the presser. Was we've been in the Champions League last 14 years. Not one club in England can say the same. So let's make it a 15th season in a row. And I believe, once again, this was something that we've brought up on the pod over the last 3 or 4 months, saying that this is a down season for us, and we're still miles above a down season for the other alleged big clubs in England. So let's keep things in perspective again. We still have an opportunity to win the FA Cup, still have a great chance at securing Champions League football. That's a great year for most clubs. So
especially if this is a lot underneath of us.
Yeah, if this is a terrible season for us, then we're sitting pretty good in the grand scheme of things. So
this motherfucker is up in our.
I can't wait to talk about this one a little later. That is dude. Steve. I know for a fact now that you are hacking our.
You hacked us, man.
But I am super excited to talk about that douchebag.
Excuse me. Yeah. You can't make it any better than, we just have to. Injuries have been nothing but the problem. You know what I mean? We would be probably in a little bit better of a spot if it wasn't for that. But yeah, you have to give credit where credit's due. 14 years running.
consistently in the Champions League.
Yeah. So eat a dick.
That's an accomplishment.
Right. Some other news during Pep's presser. Oscar Bob did get to play in a friendly match for the EDS, and is in contention to return after the international break. He's training regularly and feels much better. Pep confirmed. 2 more weeks of waiting and hopes he doesn't injure himself though, because God knows he goes to fucking Norway and that's our fucking.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the Kool-Aid that we've been given this year.
Yes. So you roll with it, but it was encouraging that he got 60 minutes in today with the EDS squad. You're not wrong. But he got the start for the EDS squad. Unfortunately, they were not able to secure a win against Crystal Palace. But the most important thing out of that, I think, was Oscar got a full 60 in. Also, Vitor Hayes was able to start for them and got some minutes in, which you want to keep him fresh because we are going to need him down the stretch, given the fact that we only have 2 other center backs besides him that are healthy, and Ruben Diaz and Kushinov. So we're going to need him to, when he's not playing for us, stay fresh, stay fit, stay in form and ready to jump in. So, bro.
Do we just become best friends?
Yup.
You want to do karate in the garage?
So much more room for activities. Be running to our respective spouses saying, you should never have let us use the power tools.
Those bunk beds
terrible
are
idea.
a good idea.
This is a terrible idea. Why'd you let us do that?
Stick holding it up.
God,
no, I'm totally.
Phenomenal.
I would never want to be that guy. He's a weirdo. In real
That
life.
means I'm him, and that means I'm the weirdo in real life. Is what you're saying?
You're a little weird. It's okay.
That's
I
fair.
love you for it.
That's fair. 100% fair. I will own my weirdness. Unlike Arsenal fans who don't own their shit and are not accountable for anything, I will own my shit. I'm definitely a little weird in real life too. So we like to get a little weird in the pod, but in real life too, it can be fun.
It can be. It can go.
I'm super on the non-bro, like a little earlier on the bro talk, but with Ellie's got practice tomorrow from 5 to 6:30.
Yeah.
And for those, do they celebrate St. Patrick's Day over there?
I believe the Irish do.
So tomorrow is St. Paddy's Day. So there's already been discussions amongst the other fellow soccer dads on
who's bringing the green beer can. Who's doing it?
My buddy was like, so tomorrow's St. Paddy's Day. We'll just start a little earlier at practice. I'm bringing, some car bomb situation potentially happening at practice. So I was like, it's gonna be one of those evenings at practice. I'm super excited about this. So I can't wait for tomorrow's night practice. It's gonna be a great time.
Tasty.
Doesn't it?
I haven't had a car bomb in like fucking 8 years.
It's been a while for me too. So I was like, I likes it. I like where your head's at right now. This is fantastic.
For those of you who don't know what the car bomb is, it is a half a pint of Guinness with a shot of Bailey's and Jameson that you dunk in the bitch and then you chug it.
Chug that one.
Bro, those things are lethal. You got to do it quick because if you don't know what Bailey's does, it
ain't gonna taste real good if you don't.
You'll be eating cheese curds in your fucking Guinness.
Oh yeah, that sounds yummy.
No,
thank you. No.
Steve says he's got Guinness on tap, bro. When we come over, so we're coming over your house. We're gonna raid your tap. I'll buy the keg if I have to. No.
There we go.
Oh man.
That's why we're gonna start at the beginning of practice so we have time to recover afterwards.
I don't know how anybody can recover after a full night of fucking drinking Guinness and
No thanks.
My stomach can't handle that.
I can't do that anymore. I can drink some light beer and like multiple of those, but I can't drink heavy stuff anymore.
Oh, dude, just I'll be straight up. I'm a liquor guy. Beer does this much for me.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so appetizing, right, in the glass, but then as soon as it hits the lips, it's nope. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. I like my bourbon neat, and I'll just you know what I mean.
Go with that,
and just go with that. Yeah. So let's talk about the starting 11. Cool little thing they did.
I love it.
We'll talk a little bit more about it in some city news, but the kiddos got to design the portraits of all the players for the lineup this week, which is super cool. Overall thoughts on it, Joe?
When I first saw the lineup put out there, I actually was very excited about the 11. I thought it was good to get Rico back out there. Figured the back line was going to pretty much pick itself, but I really liked consistency in the front three. I want to see more of Doku, Savinho, and Holland together, so we can develop some more chemistry between them, because they've all taken turns being in and out of form, being in and out of the lineup because of injuries. So getting some consistency with their directness, with their pace, and being able to figure out how to, oh my God. Jesus. Derailing at its finest. Well done, Steve. So I was really happy about that. I had initial feelings was not great, only with the selection of Gundo again, because of what we've seen out of him over the course of the season. It's been very up and down performance wise, and
definitely not consistent.
Yeah. So, but he had credit to him. I thought he had a pretty good game yesterday, but that one was the only thing that gave me pause. Was like, I'm not sure about that one, especially with Kevin and Phil and Kovacic on the bench. So I was like, maybe there's a better option there. I did keep Nico doing his thing back there. He looks great as that 6 when we don't have Rodri. Much better there. And then Marmoush playing in and behind Holland there. I love that combination and what he brings. Mm-hmm. So I liked all of those things from the lineup. The Gundo was the only thing I was like, maybe we can stop being so, like we've talked about previously, just the utmost faith in giving him minutes. I would have liked to see some other people, given what we have and the availability of dudes. So, but
I think Gundo be giving Pep that hot Tua to get on the fucking pitch.
Something,
a
little something going on.
Yeah. For me, pacey attack. I was excited about that for all the reasons you just named. But yeah, Gundo, he gave me the ick seeing him get the start again, and purely because of what I just said, just inconsistency. I mean, he's really shown his fucking age at points in time, and it's become very disheartening seeing him get reps where you don't see the likes of Phil, you don't see other players that could be potentially being put in for there. Like I think Matheus Nunes. Why isn't he being given pivot role next to Nico? I think that would be a great pairing right now.
Especially since he wasn't playing at right back. So that means he's free and available to play in his more natural position in midfield. So
exactly. And again, I think my concern was seeing Phil yet again on the bench. It really brings a lot of questions as to what the hell is going on in training, that he's not able to get into the starting 11. I think with the new influx of players, it feels like he's being knocked back a little bit, and it makes me wonder, like I said, what's going on at training. Defensively, that's what I expected, that back line in complete succession. I obviously, Rico coming in, I think a lot of us as fans, we kind of get like the, I don't know how that's going to fare out. But with Kushinov really being able to take up that right spot and then run a more so of a back three line between him, Bardiol, and Diaz, I feel a lot more secure with allowing either our left or right back to be able to push forward, knowing that
more freedom to roam.
Yes. And of course, Rico was able to play forward, which was good because, suffice it to say, that's just right back's not his natural position. We all know that. He's a little bit more effective in the midfield, and he's becoming a little bit better here and there. There's not really been any big progresses in how he's performed in that part of the pitch, but that's what it is. It is what it is. And then with Ortega in, I think everybody knew that he needed the minutes at this point. So having him come in now, knowing that we had a pretty solid back line, although they did not perform so well in a couple of instances, which we all came to see. I didn't think he had a bad performance. I think everybody wanted to see Ederson between the pipes, but at the end of the day, it's just
he wasn't fit, so he couldn't play.
Fit, and again, Ortega needed the minutes, especially because we don't know what his contract situation is going to be post summer.
I think part of him resigning was like, I need number 1 minutes kind of thing.
He's looking for number 1 minutes, and he's not getting them here, but he's also 30, and his window is closing very fast.
So maybe elsewhere to get starter minutes for those might be last chance to get a longer contract as a first team regular with a little bit more money. So gotta do what you got to do. This one I thought very telling.
That's a very good point.
With everybody else, if everybody else is cooking, we might not notice Gundo so much being off the pace, but because everybody's kind of off the pace, it like you said, it exposes that weakness a little bit more for him, because everybody else isn't playing great too. So makes sense.
Big facts.
Makes sense.
Let's move into some key moments of the match. First off, Marmoush's draw for the PK, Holland take it. That was great.
That 1-2 combination down the right side between Savinho and Marmoush is very exciting about that possibility of them continuing to play together and getting that chemistry that I was talking about earlier, because their pace and directness on the ball once they get it, that's what drew the penalty. Like those two are very, very, very quick, and they understand are starting to figure out how to play together. And that quick combination play, and then instead of just stopping and like being an option off to the side, they kept progressing down the field. Oftentimes with our wingers, they would kind of be stagnant. They'd make a pass like that and then just kind of stay still. This one, it was back and forth, like pinging back and forth, and then Marmoush's pace was just too much for that guy to handle. Clear penalty. He slid in, back foot caught him, and then Holland does what he does and bury the penalty for us, giving us an early lead, which we haven't gotten a lot of those this season on a regular basis. So getting one at home early was really nice. Glad to see that.
I like that we're going to this trying to draw the foul style of play, because more often than not, we just aren't taking any chances. And, the old saying is, if you don't shoot, you'll never score.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes the same way. Ref was shit. But that's what we expect out of Anthony Hooper. I mean, it's rinse and repeat with him. He does the same fucking bullshit calling every single match that he has us. So
we got that a little farther down too.
Yeah,
we will be covering the inconsistency.
Yeah,
that was later in the game. So unfortunately, we were not able to hold the lead for too long. We had a pretty bogus and soft free kick, I thought, that was given to them. Much of that, shite refereeing leads to a perfect opportunity for a left-footed strike. Estupinian was able to put it past the wall, far post, hit off of the post and in. But Ortega, my guy, like, you sat there and watched it. You didn't cover your far post. That is a extreme no-no just to assume that it's going wide. You need to make sure that it is going wide by diving to prevent
there was
that
no
kind of thing from happening.
Reaction whatsoever.
That's the problem I have, is just kind of stood there and watched. That's, to me, reads no effort, and you don't care. I know that's not the case with him. I'm sure he cares. I know he was giving effort the rest of the game, but in that situation, it was like, dude, you gotta, yes, exactly. You gotta provide some kind of cover on that far post. Like the wall did its job. They covered the near post. You're in acres of space, and then he stepped to the left towards the space that was covered, and then was slow to react out to the right. So I was like, bro, that's a big no. You cannot let that happen, especially when we know the way our games have gone, where little moments like that can change things for us. I was like, it was very disappointing to see, because he is a high caliber keeper, but to see a amateur rookie mistake like that happen was very disappointing, especially in that situation.
100%. Let's talk about the simulation call
On Doku.
You say your piece. I'm gonna say my piece.
How the hell is it simulation to protect yourself from being absolutely clobbered by their center back sliding in? What the hell was he supposed to do? Just stand there and let the guy clobber his knees and probably tear his ACL or break his leg?
And the way he jumped off the ground, he wasn't gonna fucking land on his feet.
He wasn't trying to buy a foul in that situation. He was 1,000% protecting himself. And you are so quick to pull out a yellow card on the dude. And then immediately after, Joao Pedro is chasing somebody down, gets a hand across his chest here, grazing him, flings himself backwards, grabs his face, and there's nothing. That is the definition of simulation, Simon Hooper. Not what Doku was doing. What world are we living in where a guy protecting his legs is simulation, and then a guy who is touched by just the tiniest feint of a hand on his chest, not his neck, not his face, and he flings himself backward, and we don't go back retroactively and give him a yellow card for simulation? Right. How is it possible that those two things are not the same? It's just mind-boggling, dude.
This just speaks to the volume of inconsistent reffing, especially with VAR attached. I was watching the Carabao final today with Liverpool and Newcastle, and I don't remember who shot it, but there was a shot on goal. Oh, it was Isak. Isak, he went for his first goal, and it was called back for offside, right? Well, when they showed us the angle of him offside, it was at a adjacent almost angle. How can you tell if it's not straight down the fucking line? Like, how mental are some of these people that run the fucking officiating and not understanding that you have to use that line, that line that you made up where the ball is or the last defender is?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to a perfectly straight line? Obviously, straight lines are not a thing over there. Diagonal lines are a thing over there. That makes no fucking sense. But to my point, just absolutely inconsistent and stupid calls. And in that moment, I really felt like Hooper was just calling something to call something.
Mm-hmm.
But conversely, I think Doku should have taken the foul. Or the one that was, or the tackle that was coming in on him. I think he should have taken it. I don't think he should have hopped. I don't know, obviously it's a 50-50 shot whether or not he would have gotten injured there. I think he should have took it. I think he should have drawn some kind of penalty out of it. Especially putting them on a yellow, that's one of their big defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Why not put them in a position? Why not put them in a position? So, two sides to looking at it, but at the end of the day, simulation for trying to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Come the fuck on.
Utter nonsense.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is that chance, and that's part of the 50-50, Steve's, you either take the lick and hopefully they get in trouble for it, or you do that and then, we get the card. What the fuck? No win situations with that guy.
I could not understand at all.
No. As the game, well, in taking account of the whole match, it was just another underwhelming performance, really, from our boys. It's not to say that after everything got even Steven, that there weren't chances left there at the end. There was just no clinical play from either side, none at all.
Yep.
And
neither team could finish.
No,
and both of them had golden opportunities to put it away and
Yes.
claim the 3 points.
yes,
But neither team, I think they had a few better chances than we did, and they could not take those opportunities. So it was deserved draw in the end. Marmouche had a nice goal. Him and Gundo combined nicely for goal number 2 for us. Very clinical finish from him in that situation. So earned the penalty for us. And then, buried one, but unlucky for Kushinov in the early stages of the second half. You guys mentioned, poor him. Trying to do the right thing by clearing the ball out, sticks his knee out to try to get it away, and deflects it. That's bad luck. It's bad luck. Maybe he could have been a little higher up to prevent the guy who ended up shooting the ball to be offsides, but I think in that situation, he's trying to do the best he can. So no fault to him. Otherwise, I thought he had a really good game. Again, looked composed, saw all the good things that we've seen from him. Pace, good on the ball still. Just had an unlucky moment in that situation. So unlucky own goal and a free kick is what settled the points between the two, with each getting one. In a PK, it was a weird game. It was only one goal. There was 4 goals scored. Only one of them really from open play, really.
right.
It was just one of those performances. And second half, Pep made some changes. He changed some things up on the wing. He tried doing things a little different, and we just weren't able to slot home a winner. So fair play for both sides in the Champions League hunt, trying to get 3, but neither side was good enough, because I don't think Brighton was particularly great yesterday either.
No. That was a beatable team.
Mm-hmm.
Any other season. I don't know if it comes from state of mind. I don't know if it comes from being tired. Although the funny thing is that a lot of the players that we've had on should not be tired. They have been running normal fucking seasons. But that also goes to show the fact that we are not in a rebuilding phase. We are in a retooling phase, and sometimes you got to find out which socket goes on the ratchet. You know what I mean? And we haven't fully gotten there yet. Which that will bring us into Club World Cup talk, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And I've said it 100,000 times already. I just think that we need to bomb out of it. And that's what I'll say about that for now. Joe, you had a man of the match.
I did. I thought Marmouche was very impressive for the time he was out there. He was always dangerous when he picked up the ball. When you're directly involved in both goals, one getting the PK for us, even though, obviously Holland's our PK taker, so he's taking it. And the exchange, like I said earlier, the exchange that he had between himself and Savinho, I think there's a lot more to come with those two playing and combining together.
Yeah.
So to give one out, I would have given it to Mr. Omar Marmouche King, Mr. Pharaoh. Again, lots of goals scored from him. He's an impact player. He kind of hit a little bit of a lull at times with us, where he wasn't as impactful for a couple of games. But anytime he's been out there, you can see the energy, you see the want to, and the willingness to play. I also didn't realize that he worked as hard defensively. as
he's a good player, man.
Yeah, he works hard to when we don't have the ball. He's not just standing up alone by himself at the top.
Dude, your word game is fucking fantastic. How do you not have books out about fucking wordplay?
Right. And he also mentioned Gvardiol. I thought he looked more like himself again.
Yeah.
So I was glad to see that.
Yeah, same. I thought he looked a lot better, a lot more comfortable, especially with him playing up a little bit more forward. I think that's where he likes to play. We knew him as the the left center back for was it Leipzig?
Leipzig and yep.
As soon as I see the Red Bulls in my head, I get a little fucked up.
Well, there's enough of them, so I understand.
Really is. Yeah, him playing up forward, and I think that, like I said earlier, with Kushyanov being as sturdy of a rock as he has been, he's able to facilitate the entire right side. So it makes having two back a little bit more palatable, especially when we have
cover a lot of ground
right in front. It's not to say that there isn't a little bit of, I feel like there's hesitation with Josko at certain times, especially when he's in the attack. But I also just think that we are a little discombobulated when we get the ball, especially when we're at the top of the fucking box. Like, it's just, we don't know how to get past that a lot of times. And then when we do, Doku drives it down to the byline, where's the finish? Where's the connecting pass?
The final ball.
Ball is just elusive.
And then when we do have a good one that goes in, there's nobody there to make the run into it. So we're not in sync with those things.
No, there's no in syncness. Now that's going in a different direction than what we were talking about with the attack, because yes, they are starting to work and look a little bit better. As a unit, the three of them, Doku, Holland, Savinha. The thing of it is that I don't really feel like Holland really plays the position well sometimes. I think he stays at the top of the box a little too much, or if he's a little too low. There's never anybody in the middle of the box when there needs to be, ever. And we need to get better about doing that, because that's at least 25% of our missed opportunities is not having somebody there centrally in the box, especially after a shot. It's like everybody's on either side of the box. What's up, Mac?
What up?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some sort of tactical evolution that Pep is going to have this summer, in order to facilitate all of this pacey attack that we have. Let's be honest, Holland's not extremely pacey. The only reason he looks that way is because he's 6'4" and he's got long ass legs. His ball skills are terrible. He really cannot. He's not a good dribbler at all. I don't think he is. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. And in order for them to facilitate him properly, he needs to be able to be on their line and on their level. Now, there were a couple times where I saw that he was holding the line pretty well and was trying to break it early, but nobody was looking his way either. I think a lot of the times with these three attackers, they all desperately want goals so bad that they're not really helping each other. They're only trying to help themselves, and that's not our type of ball.
Nope.
It's very much a family system. You have to work together or it will not work at all. Until we get to that point with all of those attackers. And then also, you have to inject Oscar Bob back into the situation. Jack Grealish hasn't seen a goddamn minute in fucking 4 months. Whether he'll be there or not next season is still remain to be seen. But there's somebody that has a little bit slower pace. And now me bringing him up is the fact that I think that we need to have a better balance going out for the rest of the season and not be so speed or heavy oriented up front. I think there needs to be a better balance by having somebody slower and more of a ball hog, if you will, and Jack. It gives time for things to build. rather than everybody's just flying down the field. You got 2 defenders on the guy on the ball. Everybody else is marked, and there's nothing open while the midfield and the defense is trying to catch up.
Right.
There's a lot
Gotta
of
find the right mix, right mix of guys.
And I think we like seeing the speedy attack because it's so different than what we've had in recent seasons, where it has been more so that balanced attack where you have somebody like Jack who's a little bit slower on the left or on the right. You know, Bernie was speedy, Phil's speedy. Bernie was speedy. He's not quite that person anymore. So
he's more shifty and quick now.
Yeah. That's why we're giving Savina so much time there on the right, and he looks really good doing it. But again, there's a lot of selfishness within their play. They're not playing together. They're playing for themselves at times. Not all the time, at times. For me, I can't give a man of the match simply because it's a tie. You know, I'll give roses when there's a W, but if I was going to choose somebody, you know, right off the gate, it was Marmoush because of his effectiveness early. Much other than that, there wasn't one player that stood out beyond that.
That's very true. Especially the whole second half. Second half was a tough watch.
Yeah, it was an extremely tough watch. I felt like I was holding my breath.
Yeah,
more in the second half.
Yes, 100%. Especially the way things have gone for us, where it's like just kind of almost like waiting for the shoe to drop, if you will. So
this too. Kev is not getting meaningful minutes, and he is seeing that 75-minute mark less and less. And that's kind of, I mean, I get it, but all the same, like, he's the one that has the frame of mind that we need for games. Leave the motherfucker alone. Leave him alone.
You know that'll be the headline from the.
I'm sure the Sun will run
tomorrow.
it or something.
They're all going to be out there looking for him. But hey, guess what? We're on international break. He didn't get picked by Tuchel.
He didn't get picked.
So let him be. Let him go. If he wants to get pissed tomorrow,
hang out with his homie in Newcastle. Fucking let him.
Go get it. Go after it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been a hard season for them. Let them have, like, you know, let them blow off some steam. It's needed from time to time.
And I going back to that comment too is, I mean, I think we all know it's his time to go, man. I mean, it's just contract isn't really there. I don't see what more he provides to the team except for a bit of leadership at this point. We do miss his clinical minutes when he comes in and he makes a difference in the tempo of the game and the way it's going and all. But I think those days are past us now. And we've got to start looking either within our squad or elsewhere for somebody who's going to be like him. There's never going to be another KDB, ever. So to even think to compare him to somebody else is honestly ludicrous.
And if we can't find someone, we're not going to find someone just like him. So guess what? That just might get, like Colby mentioned earlier, going to have to evolve our tactics a little bit to see who we have in the squad, find their strengths. How can we best mix these together and form our new strategy? That's what is going to have to happen. So, and again, we have the best manager in the world. Trust the process. He's going to figure it out.
I would trust the process at this point. I mean, you drive yourself mad just getting hung up on all the ifs and whats and maybes and this, that, and the other. Like, we have the best fucking coach there is out there. We just aren't having the best season. And he's entitled to that season. After all the winning he's done well past us.
From Barca and Bayern. It's been an unprecedented run of success.
It sucks that it's us. It sucks that it's us, but all in the same, like, I'd rather see the rise, fall, and rise again than just to see shit play. Pep's a winner. He's a competitor. He doesn't want to stay in this. He's not comfortable with this. Nobody's comfortable with this. But we have to take the part that we're fucking dealt right now because nobody foresaw the fucking slew of fucking injuries that we got this year. Nobody saw it. But that's what happens when we get complacent. That's what happens when we think so highly of ourselves that we don't think that we have any kryptonite. And there is. And unfortunately, in this game, kryptonite is age for the most part, if it's not injury. There's a lot more to come. We still got nine more to, try to reel this in. Of course, like I said earlier, there are some glares of hope for our next season, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But we'll be taking a break. And I didn't hit that fucking... Damn it. Still, I'm trying to do new shit here, right? I'm fucking up.
Yes.
I'm trying to fuck up. But I'm fucking up. We're going to take a break, come back, City News, bro out. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Shake it, but the done turn up the switch up.
All right, everybody, welcome back from break. Let's get into this fucking City News. Before I'm going to check the comments real quick. Yeah, there's apparently a dress code now. Everybody's got to wear all black. 1:15.
What are y'all hearing over there?
You guys so
in what's going on with the news over on your side. So what's the tea? What's the gossip?
Yeah, you guys bring that to us because suffice it to say, as you guys know, we typically don't talk on things unless we have tangible, physical evidence to produce, rather than just talk and fucking bullshit. Hopefully, this does. I can't see how this doesn't come to the resolution we want. We might get slapped with a fine. I'll take it. Whatever. Yeah, until I know something concrete, I don't want to touch it yet.
I'm glad that I'm hoping you guys are all right. That the news does come, because I would rather know sooner rather than later what's going down, just so we can be done with the waiting process. This has taken fucking forever to get done and for the news to drop. So I hope that you guys are bang on about this, and whoever's reporting that is saying that it's coming on, and we are going to get a resolution, just so we know. I know there's going to be appeals and shit afterwards, because that's how the process works, but I'm ready to hear what people have to say that are part of the process and can let us know next steps.
Listen, he got all the money in the motherfucking world. He don't give a shit. Hopefully this week, says House Captain. Well,
let's hopefully get that news then.
We can make a whole episode out of it. That's probably what we'll
hopefully.
end up having to do.
That's what. Hopefully it breaks this week, and since we don't have any matches to talk about next Sunday, that will be like primary topic of next Sunday's show would be to talk all about that because we don't got no games to talk through next weekend. So we don't got a game until the 30th in the FA Cup against Bournemouth. So, hey, give us some material to talk through. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
People over there making decisions. Announce that shit.
That part.
Big thing that came from the game, though, was Bernie was only on for about 17 minutes before he had
17 minutes.
before he had to come off. Pep said he watched him and it didn't look like he was running or moving correctly. So instead of risking it, he pulled him. Bernie didn't look too thrilled that he was coming off the pitch. He wanted more time to work through it, I guess. But considering how the season has gone, I think it's best to err on the side of caution at this point.
I like reading that shit. That's
Perfect.
Read legal cases.
There you go. So Pep said he's got next 2 weeks off to recover and hopefully be ready to go. But he saw something he didn't like, which is why Bernie was withdrawn so quickly.
You just have to wear all black, man. Your last name.
And you're not even on.
Yeah,
we're doing it for you. We're doing it for you. Y'all.
God, I love you guys. Yeah. That sucks, but all the same, like, it's our MO.
Par for the course this year.
It's literally just how our season has gone. I don't think it should be. It shouldn't be a dagger to anybody's side at this point.
See where he's at in 2 weeks.
See where he's at in 2 weeks. So yeah, there was that part. Another part of this week, which is something that City looks like they're going to start. They're doing regularly now. Fans were able to access bonus community content, including within the match day program during halftime and across the club's digital channels. The fixture saw the return of the popular hand-drawn graphics on social media as local school children were once again invited to draw their favorite Manchester City stars. The stadium was renamed the City in the Community Etihad Stadium for the day, which is super cool that they did that. God, I hate when I look away from where I'm reading. It came alive with charity branded banners before kickoff. Those who traveled to the stadium via match day tram and bus routes might also have noticed a familiar voice as Ruben Diaz took over the announcement system to help profile City in the Community. The City Defender also visited a City in the Community session earlier in the week with the City Inspires Year 8 students from, is that Charlton or Coralton? Coralton High School, alongside from Manchester City player and CITC trustee. You're going to have to fucking say this one for me because I'm going to butcher it. Nadam Anahu.
Nadam
Anawahu. I fucked that up so bad. I don't even care.
They know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
He's always on TV.
So the pair met.
He's a good steward of the club.
The pair met some youngsters in Newton Heath, where the charity has regenerated a new community football space. Super fucking cool. Players also showed their support for the charity by warming up in City in the Community branded tops and donating them signed alongside the match day worn shirts for fundraising. God damn. That's awesome, man. It's very, very seldom that I guess you can't really say that because most American sports teams throughout the season, they'll do certain fan appreciation days where like the first X amount of people who come in get like a bobblehead or a flag or some shit. But I really love how deep they really touch the community. I love the fact that it gives it the small club feel still. You know what I mean? I feel especially with American sports, when there's outreach within the community, it almost feels like they're even still too far away to touch. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't really feel like you get that bond. It's more or less it's just a show.
Yeah.
It's really not. It doesn't really have a meaningful backing to it, and with what they put in by regenerating a new community football space at Newton Heath, that's huge. We see that bits and pieces here in the DMV. I know the Capitals are kind of decent at it. They actually out here in Winchester, they put in a roller hockey rink behind one of our middle schools. But they only sponsored it for like a fucking year. Realized that there was no traction to it out here because ice hockey is
not a thing.
It's just not a thing. Yeah, it's. I would probably rank hockey and footy alongside of each other at this point, just because of the way it kind of is, especially at the grassroots level. It is kind of hoity-toity over here in America. Both sports. It costs a substantial amount of money to fucking play them. So I guess that's more or less why they fall into that category in my mind. But I think it's so cool that it's just, especially with the roster we have. You have somebody like Ruben Diaz, one of the best defenders in the fucking world. If not, we can say that, can we? Can we say he's the best?
Absolutely. He's one of them. He's up there.
Right. The fact that he's able to take the time out of his life, we all know that he is, for lack of better terms, a bit of a pretty. That's not what I want to say. He's not a pretty boy, but he certainly loves to focus on his physique. We'll say that.
Yes,
he's very, very self-indulged in that way. But the fact that he's taken time out for the community and the fact that City's building the space, like that's so cool to me.
Yep. I totally agree. I think it's awesome when teams go in and above, like just basic effort in the community and try to do things like this. I know in the past, especially this season, it seems like there's been a growing discontent with the.
You're never going to get away with a comment and me take it seriously, guys, about your ticket pricings when we pay $200 for American football. It's just £63 seems like nothing. So, it seems like something to y'all because you're used to paying lower prices. That's all fine and well, but that's really a topic that does not. You're not going to get over on us with that one. All right.
Yeah. So there's been, like we said, like we've covered before, and I think you guys over there have mentioned in the comments the maybe disconnect at times between what the club's trying to do in the community and what the community is asking for. So I hope that this maybe helps a little bit. Doesn't seem like it based on some of the comments you guys have said, which I get. I understand where you're coming from. But I just hope the club and the local fan base can start working together more to figure out the best way to move forward together, because the club has to continue growing their brand. That's part of everything at this point. They're trying to become the best club in the world. You have to do these things. At the same time, you can't forget where you came from. So there's some kind of a balance and a give and take that you got to figure out the best way to keep those locals engaged, but also understand where the aspirations of the club is, and kind of there's a give and take. There's a give and take at this point with costs of things, with desires of what you want your football club to be. If you want it to be the best club in the land and all the world, like we chant, then prices are going to go up on things. That's just the nature of like business, really. So it's not great for the local person who might. I totally get that, but like it's not an easy thing. But I don't have all the answers because I work in business, but I'm not like a pro businessman yet. So I don't have the answers on how to fix it correctly, but it's going to be some give and take for both sides. The fans, you're not going to get everything exactly the way you want it. Nope. The club is going to obviously have to deal with some of the fallout with that, but we gotta come together as a group.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys. I'm sure that there's some of you on here that support what We Are 1894 does. For me personally, and it's not because of things that have happened between us with them stealing our design. It's the fact that the way that I view them are a bunch of whiners. And I don't think that's how you get anywhere, especially with a big business like that. I just don't see how you get anywhere by constantly seeming like a big fucking whiner all over the internet. And that's the way I perceive them. There's a way of getting things done without looking like woe is me all the fucking time. Because suffice it to say, this has become a global brand. This is not the city you guys grew up with. It has evolved. And that's a good thing. I mean, if this right here, us having this space is a show of that. The team has grown substantially. You have a couple of Americans talking about it, and we haven't been to the Etihad yet. Have we been to city matches? We've been to plenty, especially over the last couple of seasons. But there's almost like this again, like I said earlier. There's this woe is me attitude about this, and that's not what winners are. Winners don't just fucking point the finger. Like, dude, there's a part of this, yes, that is the club's fault, but then also there's the rising wages. That's how business is. If the business is doing good, they're going to raise their prices because it's in demand. It's called supply and demand. And when you have people from all over the world who are wanting to come to Manchester and put money into the economy, you got to be thankful for that. That's like you guys. If we had a festival for British people, I mean, the town I live in is a sister town of England, Winchester, right? If we had an England fest here every year and everybody came over here and spent their dollars, we would be fucking elated. Holy shit! I feel like there's a lot of there's a lot of bad blood about people who aren't from their own backyard. Like, who cares? Who cares?
It's also like we can't, on the one hand, celebrate all of the success that the new ownership brought in when they bought the club in 2008 and enjoy the spoils of all of the good that has come from it. But then on the other hand, like almost bite the hand that feeds you and complain and about everything. So it's like you can't have both. You can't have all of these great winning, all the trophies we've won, all the amazing memories we've had, and enjoy all of those things and get to thump our chests in everybody else's faces because of how good we are. But then on the other hand, be like complaining about everything the club's doing. Like,
right.
Either enjoy the success and understand what's going to come with that, or don't enjoy it.
And I'll be honest with you, just from a financial standpoint, like, we understand as Americans what y'all's paychecks look like over there. We understand that the government takes and basically garnishes your wages up to 50%, if not more. So we understand that means are limited. And also, I understand the pay structure and what you guys get paid over there. It's a once a month thing. For us, it's bi-weekly. So it doesn't feel as
hard to budget.
Right. It's so much more easier for us to budget because we're paid on an every 2 week schedule or bi-weekly or however you want to do it. But to make everybody else pay for the fact that you don't have it within your budget to make it to all of these games and then make everybody feel bad about it it's not a good way of going about it, especially as being locals, because that doesn't make people want to come over and want to be a part of the community. If anything, it's a way of gatekeeping. And that's what the sport has really propped itself up on for a very long time. And those barriers are getting broken down literally at this point, match by match, especially for the younger demographic. They don't want to hear that shit when they're going over there. That doesn't make for a good match day experience when we hear somebody bitching about the fucking prices. 63 pounds sounds pretty good compared to 200. I'm just saying.
Too true.
Yeah, and that's all fine and well, So, for the younger demographics whom are not quite made yet, and whom are paying for, are only able to get to X amount of matches because of the prices. Like, if anything, that should be a driving force for you to want to get a better paying job, so then you can support your lifestyle.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance. Like I think a couple of you guys have mentioned it. There's a happy medium. Steve Black said happy medium. Max said balance between visiting fans. Yeah, so there's absolutely got to find that, because you can't lose the essence of where you came from. That's super important. Have to have to remember when you're growing and you're getting big and you're getting famous and all these kind of things. You can't lose sight of where you came from, who you are as a club. So definitely got to be some kind of balance between the two.
Yes,
and just because you got to have that. The atmosphere is very important. The players feed off of it. We all have seen it before, so certainly an important piece. So there's, like we said, there's got to be a balance, and I do agree. I can't remember. I think it was House Captain had mentioned earlier in the comments about fans getting some kind of input before things are like set in stone.
Yeah,
I think that's absolutely true.
Yes,
considering you're want to be a community club,
yes,
you should absolutely take input and having them included in things. At the end of the day, it is Shake's club, so he owns it. So in the end, it's his decision. But I definitely agree. That's a great way to make the fans feel like they're a part of the decision making process. Is getting some input, however it might be, but forum, asking for feedback, having a sit down with supporter groups, leads, and things like that. But it's got to be a variety of those folks. It can't just be from one source. That's not a true representation of the fan base of the club of City. So if you're going to have those things, make sure you're including
everybody.
A variety. Yeah, include a variety of
It's really not
sources.
that hard. It's really not that hard for the club, and I'm sure this has been thought of by fans over there 1,000 times. But it's really not that hard, especially with a lot of us are basically on City's mailing list. For them to set out a mass email with multiple choice questions about the club and how you perceive it and get that type of feedback and do the analysis that way, rather than having only talk to this group of people and that group of people. Because like Joe said, it doesn't give the full compass of the entire fan base and how they feel about the club. And the things that they feel that they could change. I'm sure that they've taken the time to look at things that have been said via posts on whichever social media platform. But I could probably say that they probably only look at that maybe 5 to 10% and take that into consideration amongst other things that they having to do on the business end. Because at the end of the day, the numbers speak. And if those numbers are projecting upwards, sorry to say it, but business is business, and they're going to keep the model the way they want to fucking do it. Well,
I do agree.
That's only particular to you guys over there. That's again, we're
used to that.
We're used to it being a mixed bag when you go in a stadium, and it could be somebody that bought somebody's season ticket because they were selling it, didn't want to go to that game, and you have to sit next to them. The thing of it is, with the way fans here in America is they know when to shut the fuck up for the most part.
Generally speaking,
if you go to if you're going away and you're in a crowd around you, usually you're the one shutting the fuck up and just watching the match or the game in silence, unless of course you're winning, then you're going to cheer, but you're also going to catch all the daggers of everybody's eyes over there. So
and if you get out of pocket, depending on where you're going, they will check you physically. So we have seen lots of that happening.
I can attest to the fact that I have. So for those of you who know American football, one of the biggest rivalries in the game is Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. I can say that I have been to a playoff game where those two have been in a bout in Pittsburgh, and the Ravens have won, and the Bravens have talked a little too much shit, especially after the game, walking down the steps, and my boot went in their back, and they went tumbling down the steps. So, you have to choose your battle.
Hooligan. You Steelers hooligan.
I am. I really feel like I really took that to heart whenever I watch Green Street.
Yep.
Yeah. And unfortunately, with the away people coming in and the way that this sport does away sections and segregates people, somebody was at some point in time, and it happens to be now, was bound to find a way to break the mold of how things go over there and start taking up seats within the home side's portion.
Always loopholes.
Somebody is going to find a loophole, and they did. So that's something maybe the club needs to reassess. I totally agree with that. But for the betterment of the game, I feel personally that y'all need to fucking suck it up and learn to be around your opposition and learn how to have more fun instead of taking it so goddamn seriously.
Pipe it, yes, dude. You come on, 100% correct. Everybody's like, "Ooh, Anfield. They do that."
Yeah,
Clown.
you know, I also think that with this particular part with empty seats, I mean, people aren't willing to shell out money if we're not in winning ways right now. You know what I mean? I can't really.
Corporate was empty. Well, see,
Corporate was empty. Well, isn't that typically the case though? The fucking Liverpool uses Steelers fan noise
because the Steelers are so loud.
Like during training,
your fans are so loud, so they use the noise from your stadium in Anfield because y'all are so rowdy.
Right.
I got you.
Thank you. For
So,
yeah. All right, we waffled on along about that.
That was good convo, though. I liked it. That was
convo.
Good engagement between y'all and us. Thank you.
You know, and it's not to say that we have any sort of like disdain either with how things are done over there. Obviously, there's something sacred and wholesome about tradition. You know what I mean? Like, I fully
Absolutely.
appreciate it, but at the same point in time, like, I hate preaching tolerance to anybody, but there needs to be probably a little bit more tolerance, especially over there, because it's just like, for the average fan, I guess, that really is only for over here. So I'm not going to go too far on it. I do love waffles. They're really good, especially the Belgian kind.
House Captain, I do agree with that. I think as match day is coming, if you know you haven't sold all these tickets, why not drop the ticket price a little bit to let people get in, so your stadium's full, better atmosphere. Those people who are coming are probably gonna, if they're getting a little bit discount on the price of the ticket, they might spend a little bit more at the concessions at halftime. So you're making
not only that, but in the team store.
Yeah, exactly. So why not as kickoff gets a little closer, drop
that part.
That too.
That part. Listen,
so
I don't give a flying fuck where we're at. I'm going to fucking show up for my fucking squad every fucking Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, or Thursday if necessary. That's what a real fan is. I don't care what state we're in. I chose this club for a fucking reason because I saw a reflection of myself in it. Saw a reflection of where I grew up in it. The reason why I stay, and I don't think that most people, especially over there, understand the level of loyalty an American will put out. I think most people think the Americans are fair weather fans. Not here. Don't talk shit about my team because I will blow up in your face. And it will blow up in your face all at the same time. What?
Intrusive thoughts, get out of my head.
Oh, what was it? I want to know.
You said blow up in the face, and I went down a rabbit hole in my head.
That's the only state I'm in during a fucking game or match, probably. Which is one of the few times that you actually see me drinking, because I don't drink.
Well, we don't get to a whole lot of sporting events, so when we do go, we're gonna enjoy ourselves.
Dude, the Green Bay match, far and away. Yes. That was probably the drunkest I've ever been in. No, it wasn't the drunkest I've ever been in a game. That Ravens game was the drunkest I've ever been in a game. But that was probably the second drunkest I've ever been. And it was probably the best fucking time of my life. Especially being in them corridors, yelling city chants, get the people going.
That was good times.
It was. So Steve Black made a reference to Fabio Capello. Joe had a little something on it.
What a shithead that guy is. It is so obvious that this dude is jealous and envious of Pep that it just seeps through every fucking word that comes out of his mouth. For whatever reason, he decided it was time to pop off at Pep and talk shit about him and talk about how he's ruined football. Uh, be, this is not the first time other people have said this though, that Pep has ruined the game because other managers are trying to emulate what he's doing and it's not been successful. Well, guess what, dumbass? It's the stupid manager who's trying to implement these tactics without the players who are capable of executing them. It's their fault. Pep is not the problem. He's not the one ruining football. He is making it better and he's pushing other people. You can see the improvement in the mid to lower tier Premier League sides. They are all getting much better. The Premier League, since Pep has come in, has gotten significantly better. So if you want to bitch and moan about the style of play and the way Pep is coaching his team to play and other people emulating that but can't do it, that ain't his fault. It's the manager's problem that was trying, like I said, that's trying to implement this new style that don't have the players for it. Blame those dummies who are not as good of a manager as he is. It is not Pep who's ruining football. It is dummies like yourself who are popping off at a manager who's done nothing but good things. It's so tiresome and old.
Unfortunately, he's not the only person who's run with this narrative.
Yep.
I mean, even Mourinho has made passes at Pep on this jet. We obviously know that rivalry and how that has fared over the years. But there is always going to be a naysayer when greatness is happening in front of them. And it's unfortunate because people can't just applaud things for what they are. They have to make them something they're not to make themselves feel better, which is low class bullshit unto itself, which is honestly what he's made himself out to be. And the rest of them, and Carragher included, he's run on that train so many fucking times. And really, I'm tired of hearing it. I think we all are, but it's not going to be a new topic for as long as Pep is donning City Blue. Do you hear the fucking rain?
I can hear it now, yeah. That's the first time I've been able to hear it.
I'm surprised that the tornado warning isn't fucking going off now. This is ridiculous. I hope my fucking roof doesn't fall in.
We'll know very quickly if it happens.
Yeah, because I'll die. And you'll see it all.
It's great content, Colby. What are you talking about? I'm kidding. Jesus, I'm kidding.
I mean, it would make the fucking news. Probably be the biggest that we ever got, right? So let's get into the international duty and see who's going where, when, and how.
It looks like KDB is getting called back up. It's the first time in 2 international windows for him to be pulled into the Belgium squad. So he's back at it. Phil, usually when the England lineup comes out, we usually have 3, 4, 5 players in that. But this time for Thomas Tuchel's first international call-up, Phil is the only City player called up. Tuchel did kind of reference how much he appreciates Jack Grealish's game, but he's just not. They both, I guess, talked and agreed that he's not in the best of form. It might not be in their best interest. He also praised Jack for being somebody who, much like for the American football side, like a running back that needs to be fed the ball to get into a rhythm. Jack doesn't do well when he's in and out of the lineup, not getting, sometimes he's a sub, sometimes he's not even doesn't get a run. Tuchel mentioned that Jack's a guy who needs to be consistently in the lineup to get the best out of him, and which is why he's not called up for this particular go around. So I get it. I respect that for being honest. Again, Tuchel was being very open about it. So Phil's the only one going up to England for us. We mentioned earlier Ederson was called up for Brazil, but when he got checked out, he was not fit and able to go. So he will miss some of the big, I think Brazil plays Argentina in the World Cup qualifier. So big match for them. Savinho will be going to back home and be playing for that one. The last 2 that I saw, I was looking right before the show. It seemed like a couple Others haven't fully released their squads yet. But Joško and Kovacic once again get the call for Croatia, which is standard protocol. I think Marmoush would likely get called up, I'd imagine, by Egypt, but I hadn't seen anything concrete yet for him. But that's all I had as far as international roundup. Those are the ones that I could confirm that I saw were definitely happening. The Jordan Henderson MacMan, exactly. That part too, what Captain just said. I don't understand much like Pep's like love affair with playing Gundo. I don't understand the amount of youth talent that you have in the England pool, and you're still calling up Kyle Walker, Jordan Henderson, and some of the other older players. Like there's plenty of talent to be given an opportunity to shine.
Yeah,
and you're choosing instead to pull up. Yeah, exactly. Adam Wharton for Crystal Palace is playing with the under 21s,
which
we're
gonna be we're gonna be on his tail this summer, and I find that funny that you would put him in the under 21s, knowing that he has the potential of moving up to a bigger club from Everton. That's ridiculous to me.
So I appreciate Tuchel's honesty with Grealish, but the squad selection. Goodness gracious, I can't speak tonight. The squad selection definitely questionable for his first go around. I get maybe you want to go a little more experienced in your first one, but like pick the best players that are available to you, not just older guys who might.
Why are we picking the senior players? There's plenty of people within the Premier League alone whom are England nationals that are playing real good ball right now. Why are we Jordan fucking Henderson? And I'm sorry,
this was mind-boggling.
This is me screaming about it. This is me screaming about it because I am an England supporter, because I do have roots in England. That's why I choose to, and it pisses me the fuck off. What does he actually fucking do for that fucking team? Or any team he's been on for the last fucking 5 years?
I will liken this to what on the U.S. side, the women's national team on our side, dominant for long periods of time, but their downfall recently, before Emma Hayes came in, was consistently picking the older players.
Is that the Muppets creator?
Yes. I think Jim Henson is the Muppets.
Jim Henson, right?
But Tuchel's falling into the same trap that some of the recent pre-Emma Hayes U.S. women's national team coaches was doing, which was every window bringing in the same group of players, same older group of players, and instead of giving opportunities to the younger players to shine, pulling in the likes of a Rapinoe, of Alex Morgan, of those kind of players that are past their prime, but you're only bringing them in as like presence in the locker room or like for media purposes. So it's like, it seems like that's what he's doing here. He's bringing some of these older guys in out of loyalty, out of they're good for the locker room. There's plenty of younger guys also probably good for the locker room that are a little bit more closer in age, that will understand each other a little bit more so than a mid-30s Jordan Henderson that is probably out of touch with what the 19, 20, 21-year-old guys are into now. So move on from that mentality. Like, that is not helpful for the growth of your men's national team. Let them get on there.
It's also not good for those young people's growth in the game either.
Mm-hmm.
You're purposely keeping them out of what they literally have been aspiring to do since they were children, and you're choosing old men at this point. Kyle Walker is another one that is alarming, because what is he really doing at AC Milan? Yeah, I think he had one good game, and that was his first game in red and black, and I haven't heard fuck all about him since.
And Milan aren't playing great either, so it's not like they're like crushing it while he's there.
No, he has not really been a difference maker for that club at all since signing, and they should have known, because you saw his form when he was with us. He wasn't really fucking playing because he didn't have one. Exactly. You're giving the old guys false
That's-
hope.
Yes, because they're not going to be a part of things.
The status quo of play. No, you're not anymore. You're not. It is really, really frustrating. I totally get it that a lot of these coaches tend to choose the veteran player. It makes sense to a degree. But as we know how this game goes, youth and pace is more so what's needed in this game than somebody who can stand in position and mark one man. You have to be multifaceted. A lot of these players are not two-way players at all.
Nor are they particularly versatile. They can only really play one position. And in an international setup, you need to have guys who can play in a variety of spots. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Both of you. Both of you are. Well done.
It's all up the wall.
Hang on, boys. Well done.
God damn it. Get in. That's great.
It also came out this week that because of the English teams progressing so well in European competition, for the most part, we will have the 5th Champions League spot coming from the Premier League. So little glimmer of hope there that we only need to secure top 5. Chelsea lost to Arsenal today, so they're still only a point above us. Newcastle, Brighton are behind us, both on 47 points. We're sitting at 48, so in the 5th spot. So lots to play for, but we only got to secure top 5 at this point. It would still be the lowest finish for Pep team under while at Man City, but do what you got to do to get in the Champions League spot. We got a little bit more wiggle room. But
at this point, he has to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
He has to play the game. And this is the cards that we've been dealt. So it's take the rest of the season, do as best as you can. Obviously, the standard has to be lowered now, guys. I said this earlier on in the podcast. Our expectations have to lower a little bit. 2 and 3 seems a little bit of a reach right now. 4 and 5 is a lot more feasible and it's not saying that we have a hard schedule out. We really don't on paper. But as we've seen against a side like Brighton, which they're typically, not terrible, but it's definitely one that we could have taken advantage of. We have to think that we're going to have more games like that. So 4 and 5 might have to be where we have to settle.
And that's okay.
All right.
As long as we get in the Champions League spots, that's all that matters.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yep.
Oh man. But I think it's really cool that we're being allotted the extra spot for England, for all the English teams to have an extra spot, something we've not been used to, with it only being 4 spots typically.
Shows the growth of the game in England.
Bro, no. No.
He might be talking to the guys in the chat.
Oh.
Instead of us.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not all about us, right?
Because he knows.
It's not all about us.
Steve, enjoy your daughter's spring break. Go have some fun with her.
Yes.
And we will talk soon, my guy.
Yes.
Appreciate you hanging out with us as long as you did.
Surely.
Shirley
MacLaine.
Absolutely. That was that was random.
Right.
I like random. That's good though.
Trying to think of the last movie I saw her in. In Her Shoes. If you know that movie, then you might be a little bit of a closet fag like me. Listen, there are some good rom-coms, I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
Some of the girly ones are even kind of good, and that was one of the girly ones that was half.
I will not deny that I enjoy a good rom-com from time to time. So you're fine.
Well, no, this is like the girly rom-com.
I don't care. Who cares?
Like it's probably right in line with like The Devil Wears Prada.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I hung out with a lot of girls when I was
funny.
younger, man. I was forced to watch a lot of their shit. Just happened to be like,
I live in a house full of women, so I understand completely.
Of course you do. I know that. When I was 19, I lived 19, 20. I was in a house of 5 girls, mixed bag too, anywhere from 21 to 35. And we had movie night on like Wednesdays or Thursdays. And they would always obviously pop in girly type movies, and I would just sit there with them and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Typically when they were crying.
You jerk. Let them feel their feelings, Colby.
What are you crying about? Never. Ever.
The channel's gone woke.
I said fag, okay? And I didn't mean cigarette. That's a no word for the PC brigade. Sorry if you didn't like it. Bridesmaids. That's just good comedy right there. That's just good comedy. Especially when they shit in the sink.
Oh my God.
That Brazilian food, man. Listen, if any of y'all have ever been to a Brazilian restaurant where it's like unlimited food and you just like flip the card whenever you get meat.
Hell yeah.
Every time I walk out that bitch, my stomach hurt. And it's not because I ate too much. It probably is because I ate too much, but it's the same thing every time. Shitting in the streets. Exactly.
That right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're kind of in the bro out at this point.
Man, we got great news this week too from the TV side. Apple TV released and let us know that season 4 of Teddy Lasso is 100% on. They're in the midst of writing it right now, so hopefully that means by next year they're filming and we get season 4 here not too much longer away. But I am stoked that they dropped that nugget on us that it's officially happening. It had been rumored for a long time that it was, and then Sudeikis went on the Kelsey Brothers podcast and dropped the news that Ted will be back. Looks like he's going to be coaching a women's team. We don't know for sure what that's going to look like because they teased us at the end of season 3 that Richmond was going to be. Yes. All in between for this show, man. This is what we do.
Listen, man. You gotta be a good MC. It's got to be peaks and valleys, right?
Exactly. So looks like Ted is going to be coaching a women's team. Is it AFC Richmond's women team? Is it going to be another one? Is it a rival? Who knows? But we will find out hopefully soon. But that was super exciting to see that the old gang's getting back together. I think there's the right amount of time has passed to bring it back.
I think too much time has passed. I think when they were talking about it last year was when they should have probably been starting writing on it, because here's the one thing that for me at least, yes, we're back to dress code. For me at least, there's been times whether it be movies or shows where it's gone too long without the follow up, and it's not been as good. And I feel like it's almost breaching that point right now. I think another year, because you got to think of all the different factors playing into this. Like as we read about the season 4 coming out, a few of the plot points for season 4 was the fact that Ted Lasso's kids playing over here in America. So that's going to be a focal point of what's going on. Obviously, we knew that Ted and his wife divorced, and it looked almost as if they were getting back together. Take it easy, Mac. They look like there was potential it could be working out. They may be working some things out. So, like, I don't know really what to make of it, especially because you understand how fast children grow and his age range between 8 and 12. By the time they get back, I think he was 9. Ted's son was 9.
Right around there,
left off when he was in season 3. Now we're talking about he's probably going to be like 12. 11,
Yeah,
12. It's going to
the
look a hell
timeline
of a
in
lot
between.
different.
Yep.
You're from the story going in a continuous order. Obviously, there's a lot of time that's passed between then and that and then. So that's the one part that I'm kind of hung up on. I'm like, man, is this people are looking a little bit? I mean, fucking Trent Krim's going to look a hell of a lot older.
I usually share those same concerns when it comes to rebooting a show. The only thing that's giving me confidence in this is how amazing of a showrunner Bill Lawrence is.
Yes.
He is phenomenal at what he does. So I feel like I'm trusting in his brilliance in the TV world and knowing that him and Sudeikis and
Brett Goldstein
and all those guys who are going to do this right.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm usually in the same boat as you. But oftentimes when they're rebooting these things, it's not always the same people that are running shit.
Right.
So I'm cautiously more so on the optimistic side that they're going to do this right because of how amazing the show was and not like screw it up.
Right.
And make it feel not the same. I feel like I'm hoping and praying that it's going to feel the same way because that show's still like super comfort show for me. I can put on any episode anywhere within it, and I feel good while I'm watching it. So
for sure, I think the one dynamic that I'm really interested to see within the show, being that there is a female team coming in, is what that roster will look like. I'm really hoping that they have like an Alicia Lamon type that acts like Jamie Tart.
Yes.
You cannot have this show without that piece element.
Female version of him.
Yeah, you have to have that. And I feel like it would almost be like a Douglas Luiz, Alicia Lamon thing, where like they both play for the same club, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he found a new girlfriend who's like kind of like him and is a straight baller, but she got an attitude problem. And he's like, baby, it's poopy.
It's poopy.
It's poopy. Just let it flow.
Let it flow. God, I love that show.
For sure.
I
Comments.
believe.
Do you guys have anything for us? We're closing in on an hour 40. We appreciate all of you guys hanging out tonight, especially the guys that just bounced off of here. Mac,
Steven.
Yeah, Steve was on here.
I'm sure Luke has finally gone to bed.
Luke's probably in bed.
Hopefully. It's late over there.
I mean, I feel like Steve, are you just like are you like narco? No, what's a person who stays up at night? Not a night owl. Insomniac. Thank you. I should know that because I am one.
Well, him and Martin have mentioned both that they're both one and the same. So,
dude, I want to see her in our white shorts.
She looked real good in City Blue.
I feel stupid. I never read email. You talking about our emails?
I think he and House Captain are having
okay.
having
their own conversation.
I think so.
Sorry, I just like to bounce over the comments and see like if there's anything relatable. Of course, it's not always about us.
Yes, do not confuse those two things.
Necrophiliac, no.
Very different.
Necromancy, necrophilia.
Yes,
I only see that in like witch shows, and even then, it kind of fucking weirds me out. I was watching that Netflix redo of Sabrina, The Chilling Tales of Sabrina, which is like an Archie comic that I think it's her cousin, the black British dude. His name's Chance. His real name's Chance something. He actually just died, which really sucks.
Way to bring on the mood, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He apparently was gifted in necromancy, and that every time they would say the word, I'm just like, Same thing with Pitch Black, though. The necromancers.
Yes.
That although they looked really cool, it still like gave me super weird vibes. Like, why are we putting the undead into our fucking movies? Is it a real thing? Because you know what they say about movies and shows and stuff like that. It's typically a precursor of things to come.
Appropriate color all of a sudden.
You spelled color wrong.
What an asshole. House
Dude,
Captain.
you have no
Anytime
idea.
in our chats, same thing. As soon as that gets brought up, it's like instant.
Oing, oing, oing,
Oh my god. Honesty right there for you.
I mean... 2 O's. No you. That's gonna be a fun one to play with right now, especially like with everything that's going on with Canada, because that's how they spell color. Oh my god, I've seen so many people rip into the whole better in pink. What? Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Victoria's Secret pink.
Oh my lord.
Yep. Yeah. I even got like the glass cleaner that gets off the fucking crusty residue. Yeah.
A squeegee.
All right. You two in the comments, you got anything for us? Otherwise, we gonna wrap this thing. And of course, we'll be back next Sunday, even though we ain't got shit to talk about.
We'll come up with something for y'all.
We'll come up.
Hopefully, there's 115 news. We can talk about that. That's actual like news. And if not, then we'll whatever updates in the city news. We'll have that, and then we'll just spend some time with a little bit of bro talk, extended version of bro talk. So we'll come up with something fun for y'all to waffle on about with us on Sunday night.
Yep,
next Sunday.
And night. Guys, don't forget, we are only a couple of episodes away from our 100th episode. We're going to be doing a little bit of something for it. I'm going to try to put something together, but we also have some news for you guys. I'm not going to give out any type of
hints were dropped last episode.
Hints were dropped last episode.
Some folks picked up on it, others maybe not, but that's okay too. We'll talk about it next in 2 weeks. And then to address same day, no. Monday through Thursday now. My evenings are spent at the soccer pitch with both my kiddos. Monday, Wednesdays are Elliot's nights. Tuesday, Thursdays are Jordan's nights now. So the only night that I don't have trainings are Fridays. So if the news pops on Tuesday, no. And then Friday nights is family time. So for both of us. So
we gonna have fun with this one.
So
yeah, and then same thing for me. I mean,
yep.
I unfortunately I live an hour and 10 from my kids, so Tuesday nights I have been trying to help with the duties of getting the kiddo to training and obviously spending some time with them and being a little bit more reputable with the rest of the parents and the coaches. So that's why we have decided to cancel our midweek stuff. It's just because our schedules are so busy and they're going to continue to get busier, even just with our personal lives, not just the kids. For me, I'm going to be looking to taking on more work. So money's more important at the end of the day, especially in today's world. But yeah, fanny my arse. All right, guys. Yeah. Until next week, we will chat with you then. Make sure that you do the like, subscribe shit. If you like us, maybe share us. Maybe buy some of our merch. Maybe our announcement will change if you start doing those things. And
more windy.
Yep. Bro, it's so windy here too. It's funny.
I'm
coinciding jokes in that.
Yes. I'm very glad that we made it to an hour and 45 and your power didn't get knocked out or anything. So
right? I'm glad the roof didn't fall in on me.
And yes, that and like connection has been great the whole time. So I was concerned that we might have that issue, but we made it all the way through and no problems.
Good job, Xfinity.
Yeah. Well done.
You're doing your fucking job that I pay you for.
Congratulations for doing your job.
Listen, I don't even know what that looks like anymore. So Joe has a better memory of it than I do. So. All right, guys, we out till Sunday. Let me leave you with I don't know. It's probably just going to be this one.